Hello everyone, it is Canadian Futures Trader here. It is March 2021, and in this video I'm going to be covering my setup in Jigsaw Daytradr for when I am trading the Treasuries. Why I'm doing this video is that I'm hoping to make more videos where I record entire trading sessions, and rather than kind of explain in each video what's going on my screen, I can just make reference to this video that you're watching now, and if anyone has any questions, they can come watch this and see what it is that is on the screen. I just made a similar video for other products I trade, so when I trade crude oil, ES or NQ, I have a little bit different look in Jigsaw. If you're interested, you can see that video. I'm putting these both out at the same time. So let's get started. So as I mentioned, I use Jigsaw Daytradr. First things first, I've obviously changed the color scheme. It's typically reds and blues. I changed it to greens and purples, just a little bit easier on the eye and just to be a little bit different. Along the bottom here, I have these are essentially sort of where you can control your trade. Now, I do most of my trading directly on the depth of markets, but you do have these boxes here where you can essentially do your order entry. It shows the product name here, so I have UB up and I have ZB up, so that's the 30-year. This is the 30-year bond, and this is the Ultra Bond. I have my account number hidden here, but it shows your account number, so you can verify that. This number right here in the white box is how many contracts are set up. So if I was to enter a trade right now, it would be 4 or 5 contracts. And these numbers are all predefined numbers, so you can quickly change this. So say I want to change this to 10, just click 10, and there it is. And I can change these to be whatever I need them to be. This sort of section here, you can pick what type of order you want. I have mine set to auto. Jigsaw Daytradr does a fantastic job based on where you click on the DOM. It knows exactly what you're trying to accomplish. If you're doing a buy order, sell order, a stop loss, a take profit, etc. Here you can obviously do market, buys and sells. You can join the bid, join the ask. Again, I do all this directly on the DOM. Skipping to just kind of the main things that I do use here at the tail end, you can hit flat, it'll get you out of your positions, cancel any open orders. You can hit cancel, cancels any open orders. So say I had a stop loss and I was in an active trade, it would cancel that, but it would still leave my position open. And lastly, this is essentially bracket orders. In NinjaTrader, they would be called ATM strategies. In TraderVue, they would be called brackets. So you basically predefined strategies is what they are. So I have a bunch set up so that basically, and I'm not going to enter any trades right here because this is one of my live accounts and I'm not really looking to trade right now. I'm not really paying attention to what's happening in the market. So, but if I had a bracket on or strategy, whatever you want to call them, like a typical one might be when I enter position, let's say I go long, automatically set a stop loss 4 ticks down. That would be an example. So, and obviously this is just the order box for Ultra Bond, which is this DOM right here. This is for the 30-year, like I mentioned, which is this one. We're going to go across here. I'll explain kind of at the higher level what I have up here, and then we'll go a little bit more in detail into what's happening on each of these, although it's the same for all three, obviously. So on the right here, I have the Ultra Bond. I'll get to this over here in a second. In the middle here, I have the 30-year bond, and on the left, I have the 10, let's see, what do I have? I change this often. This is actually the 10-year, the Ultra 10-year. So similar to the 30-year Ultra Bond, this is the 10-year Ultra Note. I primarily trade the Ultra Bond and the 30-year. I kind of switch back and forth. Right now, lately, I've been trading the Ultra Bond a little bit more. So I have that right here on the right. Not to say I wouldn't trade the 30-year bond, which I have in the middle. The one I have on the left here is really just for reference. Sometimes I have this set as the 10-year. Sometimes I have it set as the 5-year. Like I said, it changes. Right now I had it set to the 10-year Ultra Note just because I was kind of testing things out and taking a look at it. Again, this is more for reference to see what's happening in that market. I'm not trading this far left depth market whatsoever, so just know that. The middle one and the one on the right here, I'm going to explain the Ultra Bond one just because I have the most columns on here. This 30-year has the exact same columns except for these right to. So before I get to that, on the far right here, I mean, it's not hard to figure out. It's essentially the tape. It's showing each buy and sell and the quantity. You can customize this and include the time, and you can set it to do blocks of trades, etc. I just have it up here, just a quick reference. You see a lot of red flashing, obviously a lot of selling, and vice versa. So let's get to the Ultra Bond here. So like I said, we'll just go through this one because the setup for these two is the exact same. On the right here, these two columns are essentially a breakdown of this column. So let's start with this column right here that I have my mouse over. This is essentially a volume profile. This is just showing the total contracts traded at each price level. I'll just scroll up here where the kind of pinkish fuchsia color here, that's where the most contracts were traded. Call it the point of control. The little orange one here is the VWAP. I don't actually really use that at all. I don't care where it is, but it's just kind of in there. It's a setting, so I didn't bother to turn it off. So you can kind of see the range of where things have traded. It's pretty flat today. You can see here on the 30-year, it's a little bit more kind of histogram distribution, but even still, it's kind of a odd shape. But nonetheless, so this is your total volume traded. So these two columns coming back to them is just the breakdown of this and how many times it was sellers who came down and hit the bid and how many times it was buyers that came up and hit the ask. So it kind of gives you a little bit more in-depth information into the distribution and where sellers were more active versus buyers were more active. So this can be reset, whereas the volume profile is just for the entire session. So if I actually hit the little garbage can up here, it'll clear this out. So if you just want to start tracking it from this point forward. Let's get to this. I'll just explain this column right here is the price column. So hopefully you can tell the distinction that there's actually two columns here. I know they're both kind of gray and white. The one right here that's skinnier is the price column. I have it abbreviated. I'm going to try to expand it here just to show. I just have it condensed because I don't really care what the full price is, just for space more than anything. And then here's the volume profile. So we'll just squish that back in. Let's see. So the purple columns and the green columns, the inside purple and the inside green columns, they are your traditional depth of market order book that you would see. So again, I'm explaining this because I know this probably has a lot more information than a traditional DOM. I know when I've used TraderVue in the past, it literally just has the price, the bids, and the asks, and that's basically it. So, and that's what this inside columns are. So there's your bids, there's your asks. Now, I'm connected to Rithmic, and it's a little bit quirky sometimes. It's not pulling the numbers above this, so until it actually trades at a number up here, it's not pulling it. So if it was to trade up here and then come back down, it would actually show them. But I should mention too, I'm recording this late in the evening on a weekday. There's like next to no activity. You can obviously see that the market is not exactly moving around, but it was a good time for me to record this video. The outside purple and the outside green are contracts being added and subtracted to the bid and the ask. So it just gives me a quick reference. If you start seeing a lot of contracts being pulled, that's mainly what I'm looking for as well. I mean, you might have just saw that right there. We were sitting at 72. We jumped up here, and now there's contracts being added here. As well, you're seeing contracts being lifted here. So when you start seeing a lot of contracts being lifted versus a lot being added, it might tell you something. Again, a lot of this is just sort of extra information. It's not necessarily like any one group of information is going to be the keys to the kingdom and make you an amazing trader, but kind of having all of this together sometimes tells a bit more of a story than just the bid and the ask. The numbers in the middle here are, and maybe it's almost better to look at the 30-year here in the middle, just because I cleared those out earlier. When you hit the garbage can, it clears out the middle numbers as well. The middle numbers are actual contracts being traded, or sorry, contracts that have actually traded. So, and these reset essentially. So what I mean by reset is if the price was to move back down now, it would clear these numbers out and show what the latest contracts being traded at each price level are. So it tells a bit of a story, and it's going to tell the same story here. you had a lot of buying and really no selling all this way up. So this just pushed up, 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 and here we are. Same thing here on this 10-year note. It was just buying. You had a bit of selling at this price level, but then essentially it just moved on up. So this tells a bit of a story. You see that the buyers are completely in control of this market at this point. Let's see what else. That is kind of it. The only other column is this one, and I have it on here as well. And if I am in a trade, it shows your profit and losses is the only thing that it shows. So if I was long, it would show 0 for wherever your entry point is, your break even, and it would start showing your total profit and loss depending on each price level. So that is basically it, guys. So like I said, I mean, if you know this one, you know what the other two are as well. It's the exact same stuff. I use all three because, well, one, I do actively trade both of these, but two, prices in the Treasuries do tend to move kind of in tandem, and a lot of times what's happening in the 10 and the 5-year, which I don't have the 5-year up now, but kind of sometimes will lead you in the right direction. If you're starting to see the 5-year, the 10-year is about to break down, for example, right now we've been on a nice run up. If I start to suspect the 5-year is going to start ticking down, I might get a jump on that on the 30-year or the Ultra Bond. So just to give you a little bit of an example, but hopefully I'll be demonstrating more of that in some actual sort of live trading that I record. And that is it basically, guys. So there you go. If you have any questions about Jigsaw Daytradr, feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to answer your questions. As well, be sure to visit my website. Check it out. I've been adding a lot of articles lately. And if you like my videos, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and hoping to only bring more and more content. Thanks, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.